Alrighty. You know what? It took 26 episodes. But we actually have some entrance music here on the Essential Wrestling Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Just so you guys know, that was the Black Cats NYC, their new album, Free Cake. All right, their debut album, Free Cake, drops November 13th. Make sure you go to iTunes, all of your media outlets to pick that up. They're a good friend. They're actually a friend of the show. They are related to Tyler Adele. So don't hold that against them. Go out, get that album. And ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this is episode 26 of the Essential Wrestling Podcast. And I have to, this is going to be an exciting. I've been waiting for this episode. Okay. Once every 4 years on the first Tuesday in November, it is that magical day. Happy Erection Day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the episode. We just paid tribute to Val Venus and the Big Valboski. No?
Al.
You guys look at me like that.
It's Election Day.
Oh, boy. All right, my wife's going to have a problem later. This is episode 26. This is our Legacy Explodes Triple Threat match episode. And more importantly, I guess the biggest takeaway from WrestleMania 26, this was the last time Shawn Michaels couldn't get the job done, put his career on the line against The Undertaker, and came up short for the second year in a row. Michaels held true to that up until I believe it was last year, and I believe that was a lot of stars on that match, DX versus the Brothers of Destruction out in Saudi Arabia. But I digress. And as always, we have our first ever PWP champion, the living legend, John DeConnie. Happy Erection Day.
Thanks. Always glad to be aboard, Al. Maybe not so much on Erection Day, but always happy to be here.
I thought this was a Val Venus tribute episode. I'm sorry. John Smith is up in the top right corner. As always, John, how's everything going today, pal?
Good. I'm just hoping that you mailed in your ballot at least.
Yeah, I did. I mailed in my ballot. Everything's taken care of. My vote is in. I didn't get the nice shiny sticker I've been seeing everyone wear on social media, but it's all right. I don't do stuff for stickers. I do stuff for championship gold. On today's episode, this headlines. All right, the first headline: Johnny Bravo gets shot at his. Unbelievable! I love Impact. Jey Uso has fallen in line. Randy Orton has a target on his back. Gary Mehaffy is back with us again to discuss that huge NXT Championship title defense with Walter retaining against Ilya Dragunov. Oh, my God, that was amazing. Gary's back to talk that with us. Ryan Joy will be here with us to discuss the finals. We have a new pure Ring of Honor champion. And we also have a New Japan pay-per-view coming up this weekend, Power Struggle. Ryan Joy will be here to discuss all of that. I'm going to reveal number 21 on my top 30 favorite WrestleMania match countdown. That's right, folks. We are 21 weeks away from WrestleMania. The Showcase of Immortals right now scheduled at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. We're going to make our picks for this week's upcoming shows, which as always is presented by minutestobelltime.com. All of the stats and graphics you will see will be by minutestobelltime.com. And, of course, it's always sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. Included in those picks, we're going to main event the show with AEW Full Gear. That is this Saturday night. It's going to be a honey of a show. All the titles are on the line. A tournament final. Going to be a lot of fun. But we're going to curtain jerk the show with Halloween Havoc, and a great performance from the NXT superstars. Where'd it go? Where's Shotzi? There she is, howling at the moon. Great performance by the NXT superstars last Wednesday. But the Garganos, they got halfway there. John DeConnie, Johnny got it done.
Yes. We started the show with Johnny versus Damien Priest for the North American title. Priest was in black and white bottoms. He was wearing the mechanic's glove as a tribute to apparently his hero Sting. He even pulled off a couple of Stinger splashes just to drive that home. But eventually, because they spun the wheel, made a deal, and wound up with a Devil's Playground match, no DQ, false count anywhere, they wound up backstage. They wound up back out in front of the wheel on the platform, where Gargano got a little help from a mysterious someone in a Scream mask, who handed him a tombstone, which he then rightfully broke over Damien Priest's head, knocking him off the platform, threw some more of the effects, and pinned him on the floor to become the two-time North American champion.
Yeah, the first ever two-time NXT North American champion. If you would have told me before this match that the outcome was going to be Johnny Gargano was going to hit Damien Priest with a tombstone, I figured you'd be out of your mind, but then literally hit him with a literal tombstone. It was AEW, I'm sure, of an actual granite. But Johnny got it done due to help of this masked mystery, I guess we'll call it person for now. You don't want to assume gender here. But then later on in the main event, you had Io Shirai and Candice LeRae. They spun tables, ladders, and scares. So they hooked the belt onto the pulley thing in the middle of the ring, and then off we went, John Connie.
Yep, and that one was also fantastic. Io went for a moonsault very early. Instead, she did not catch Candice. She caught the end of the steel chair. So that had her limping around for a little while and let Candice go target her leg for a while. Then later they were on the corner of the apron, and there was a swinging neck breaker. And on their way to the floor, they passed through a couple of tables. That was a hell of a spot. Then we saw the mysterious figure in the Scream mask once again, who was mostly thwarted by Shotzi, who got involved pretty quickly. But yet Candice had gotten to the top of the ladder, half unconscious. I'm glad I got that name right.
Hoops McGee.
Yeah, speaking of crappy independent wrestling gimmicks.
So Candice was at the top of the ladder, but half out cold. Io would wind up knocking her off the ladder, over the ropes, to the ladder that was bridged between the mat and the announce table. Horrible, horrible bump. And that would allow Io to retain. And once again, cost me points betting against Io. Champion retains, no Gargano sweep.
That's shot number 2 for Candice. I don't know what, go back to the drawing board. You know, any assumptions here? John Smith will bring in any assumption on this masked assailant right now?
I forgot his name. Who's the guy that was that Johnny was like, oh yeah, good job.
Yeah, it's either Austin Theory or Indy Hartwell, or it could be both of them,
Yeah.
I guess. There's no reason why one couldn't. I don't know if maybe because Austin Theory quit. You know, you kind of assumed it was him. I actually did notice because there was a lead pipe coming in before he handed the tombstone on Priest, and then the lead pipe came in. I'm like, he swung it right-handed. Austin's a lefty, so I don't know. So to be continued in that, but the Gargano's got it half done. Congratulations, Johnny Gargano made history last Wednesday night. John Smith, Pat McAfee shot a promo with the new NXT Tag Team Champions, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. You hit it right on the head. Pat McAfee did hire Ridge Holland, and then when Ridge Holland got taken out, he hired the guys that took out Ridge Holland. So that you were right on the head with that one on your end. Here comes Kyle O'Reilly for some revenge. He thought he had a friend.
Yeah, here comes Kyle O'Reilly, and then he gets a guy named, what's his name, Peter Dune?
Peter Dune.
Yeah, Pete Dunne comes down, a couple of chairs, looking a little emaciated. I'd like to see him with a little bit more meat on his bones like he used to have. But, you know, I mean, it doesn't look bad on him. It's just he's more intimidating when he's a little bigger. But he hands that chair over to Kyle O'Reilly and then slams him in the back, old Seth Rollins style in the Shield. I mean, it's not it wasn't an alliance like the Shield, but you thought that they were going to just team up to take out McAfee and his henchmen real quick, and then all of a sudden it's a 4-man squad. So I mean, I like it. I like Pat McAfee being the mouthpiece because he doesn't have experience, and then eventually, he could have a stranglehold on like the North American title, and always be honky tonk man in it, and stuff like that. And I like this. I like a new heel stable because now that the Undisputed Era is going more on the face side, it's time for something new and fresh.
Yeah, the Pete Dunne thing was a shock to me. As I talked with Gary last week previewing the NXT UK Championship, I don't want to speak for Gary, but I gave Dragunov absolutely zero chance whatsoever because Pete Dunne was over there. I figured they were going to set up for Pete Dunne and Walter again, and then here he comes back stateside. So I'm like, oh my God, they just opened up the door for Dragunov too, in my eyes. And I'll get we'll talk with Gary about that. But McAfee's got his 4th guy. It is that time of year. War Games. I can't wait for Regal to say it. Regal's just gonna blurt it out. They have to be setting up to put 2 rings inside the CWC. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but this has just got War Games written all over it. John, two of your favorites here, Dexter Lumis and Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes, personally, my favorite. The Haunted House of Terror match, and stole the show. Cameron Grimes stole the show. Not even wrestling, just on his acting.
Absolutely. I mean, his promos are always gold, but for him to be able to do this on the fly, mostly, I don't know how much of it was pre-recorded, how much of it they reshot, but it doesn't seem like much because he's such a natural. And the zombies were a little much. The walking backwards like The Exorcist, but
I thought that was impressive. That was impressive. Yeah. Gymnasts or whatever those women do for real work.
They learned it from Bray Wyatt.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So, I mean, Lumis comes out looking super strong, chokes him out. I mean, there was no referee involved. It wasn't a 3 count, but I think we can all agree that Dexter Lumis was the winner on this one. And somehow it made its way back to the arena, which I found a little cheesy, which was also the same way like the Randy Orton Bray Wyatt thing happened a few years ago. They somehow make their way back to the arena of all places. But, I mean, nothing bad to say about the match. Cameron Grimes outshined Dexter Lumis, and that's saying a lot because Lumis is freaking awesome also.
And Lumis did his part too. Like, he was creepy as hell that entire time. Like, that was... I don't think you could have put 2 other people in that match and have it been better than those 2. That was absolutely perfect. Also in the match, a very hard-hitting match between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez. Ripley picked up the win after the Riptide. But Gonzalez, Raquel Gonzalez, there's too many R's. Raquel Gonzalez, she dominated most of that match. And then even when Rhea was getting her hand raised in the end, she was selling the crap out of an ass whooping. So very well done by both of them. Santos Escobar, he got it was a non-title match. We got a lot of that wrong. That match wasn't announced till the day of, so we didn't pick that match on our show. We went with Atlas, and I think the determining factor was that it was a non-title match. I believe John DeConnie, you were the only one that went with Escobar and got that right. But very well, I think the Halloween thing is a half-painted. I don't know if it was the Coco tribute, the Disney movie Coco, where they had, the Night of the Living Dead, with the Mexican tradition, or he's buying into this Thunder Rosa rumor that Meltzer was starting, that she's coming to WWE, which is SpongeBob, by the way. Where is he?
I'd love to see her get involved with Legato Delphin.
It would be great. She's got another year left on her contract, according to Billy Corgan. So thank you, Uncle Dave, for starting that beautiful gem of a rumor.
Getting her.
I didn't even hear that. It's news to me.
Yeah. So, we'll get to Thunder Rosa when we talk to Ryan Joyce. She lost her NWA championship, the women's championship. But, so they, and he had the Rey Mysterio tights, too, from Halloween Havoc. Was that 97, and he had the Cruiserweight championship match. He took the Cruiserweight title from Eddie Guerrero. So, absolutely great match.
That Owens were the same thing a couple months ago?
Yep.
Seth Rollins. He wore the same thing, right? A couple months ago.
I don't remember that. You might have.
Mysterio.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense. Killian Dane and Drake Maverick tried to recreate the Shockmaster falling. Random fact, I didn't know this. I saw this the other day. Do you know who the Shockmaster is?
Yeah.
It was Tugboat, right?
Yeah, I never knew that. I don't know why I never knew that. It makes it even funnier now that I know. I thought it was just some random schlep they put in the Stormtrooper helmet. So that was what was Halloween Havoc, an absolutely great show. Here is how we did with our picks and our standings. John DeConnie stole the show, said Io Shirai ruined this perfect pay-per-view. At the end, John Smith did he did 3-2. He's 25-6. John Smith, there's a reason why he's our NXT senior correspondent. He absolutely killed it. Myself and Ryan and Tyler actually chimed in with his picks online. So we all went 2-3. We got the Garganos backwards. We had Candice winning and Priest retaining. So oops on us. Going forward to tomorrow night on NXT, we have 2 matches booked. The first one I guess they had an altercation about 2 weeks ago. We mentioned it last week that Dakota Kai does not want Ember Moon just coming back and just remaking her name in NXT off of Dakota Kai. So they're going to go at it. John Smith, our senior NXT correspondent. Like I said, you've been killing it lately. Who do you got?
It is Ember Moon's first match back, isn't it? So I'm going to have to go with Ember. Oh, it's her second match back?
I believe so.
Yeah, the second. This is she had the one. She fought. What was it? Jessie Camilla. She had beat last week.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a little throwaway match. Yeah. Yeah. Jeez, this one's really hard, man. I'm gonna have to go with Ember, but that's like a coin flip for me. I don't like what they're doing with Ember Moon. I don't know why they're just gonna have her come back and just do this. She's not Finn Balor. I don't get it. That's another discussion.
Yeah, but even then, how long did it take Finn Balor to, get whatever the title that he has right now? And it took an injury to get it. So, John DeConnie, who do you got?
I'm going to go with Ember. Keep her on a roll since her return here.
Screw it. I'll go Dakota Kai then. Why not? I like Dakota Kai. And then on the other match, again, this should be a lot of fun. This main event of the Takeover, maybe I would say about a year ago for the NXT Championship. But Tommaso Ciampa and the Velveteen Dream, they're going to get back at it. The third member of this party is Kushida, who came out in the triple threat match. But Ciampa shot a promo last week at Halloween Havoc. He's not happy that the Dream cracked him in the head twice with the arm cast. John DeConnie.
I'm going to go with Ciampa here. He, was the face of NXT. Fate took it away. It's time to get me back in that position. And it all starts with Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, it does. He's still I don't want to say he's still recovering from that swash from Karrion Kross, but he really just needs to, they need to let him go. John Smith, your expert opinion.
I'm gonna go with Velveteen Dream. Actually, I think he's gonna sneak away with it, and this is gonna end up being a longer term program, like leading up to the pay-per-view, the takeover before Survivor Series,
which we're hoping to be War Games. So that would be absolutely great to get the 2 rings and the cage over both. And like I said, they already got the 4-on-4 on the men's side. It's set up beautifully, and I'm sure they can throw 8 girls in there, 8 women in there, and absolutely just shine. So that will cover for NXT. Going into Impact, where it might be a tough night to own the night tonight. I think there's something else going on, as we mentioned at the top of the show, in our beloved country of the United States of America. But we're going to discuss it anyway. They got a big night ahead of them. But last week, we had an impromptu Impact Championship, World Championship match right off the bat, John DeConnie.
Yeah. The show opens with a turmoil backstage, and it turns out it's EY jumping Rich Swann, who's in dress slacks and loafers. They rumbled all the way out to the ring, and Rich Swann did not have a good time. When they finally got pulled apart by backstage agents, Eric Young was demanding his rematch. Scott D'Amore told him absolutely not. Tonight's not the night. but Rich Swann had enough after getting lumped up for a little while, kicked off his loafers and barefoot in his slacks, decided he was willing to give the rematch. And once again, I don't know if Rich Swann is capable of having a bad match. There wasn't a whole lot of surprises at the very end with the springboard or handspring cutter followed by the Phoenix Splash, but we get Rich Swann retaining.
Yeah, fighting with those shoes, John DeConnie. You know better than everybody else that is a very stallion way to wrestle. Stallion way to wrestle.
There's a man who is not worried about frostbite.
No, apparently not. And then afterwards, after the title defense, Moose had a few choice words for Rich Swann, as well as Sami Callihan. So Moose is not involved in this, but they did book a tag team match tonight. It's going to be Rich Swann teaming with Eddie Edwards to go against Sami Callihan and Eric Young. And I'm sure Ken Shamrock's going to be in this picture somewhere. But there are some crazy people on that heel team right there. Between Callihan, Eric Young, and then if you add Shamrock in the mix. Wow. So, John DeConnie, who do you got in this tag team, which will most likely be the main event?
Yeah, but for that very reason of the amount of mental instability, I'm going to go with the heels in this one.
Yeah, they're just going to... I completely agree with that. John DeConnie.
Yeah, me.
I'm sorry, John Smith. My bad.
Yeah, I'll go with Eddie Edwards takes the fall. Yeah, definitely go with the heels.
Okay, so now here we go. So wrestling weddings tend to get a little nuts. Test and Stephanie McMahon was the first wrestling wedding, actually the second wrestling wedding. You know, you can even throw Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. Savage ended up getting bit by a snake, I guess, in the after party. The wedding went off okay, but it was the reception that Jake Roberts put a snake in a box and attacked Randy Savage. Then he got Triple H interfering and marrying his beautiful bride to be Stephanie. That was the Test wedding. Stephanie was supposed to marry Test. Triple H took her to Vegas. They've been happy ever since. They're still together. Well, yeah, wrestling weddings have somebody got shot. The groom got shot at his wedding. And it was actually kind of funny because you can see James Mitchell. Welcome back, by the way, to Sinister Minister. You can even see he's just like waiting. He's like, okay, this is going off too simple. Okay, this. Okay, waiting for something to happen. Lights went out. Boom. Johnny Bravo got shot. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The investigation begins. Who shot Bravo? But before we get to the investigation from Impact, my beautiful bride and I, we tend to dabble in the investigation Discovery Channel, a lot of murder mysteries. So I have actually come up with a list of suspects who I think it is, who I would like to question. So the first person up, we have Jessica Havoc. So Jessica Havoc here, she was the one that brought back the Sinister Minister reluctantly. She knows Rosemary's up to something. They keep on bringing up the fact that Johnny Bravo's a virgin. There's got to be some kind of sacrifice that only Havoc would know about. So Havoc could be, she's a suspect. She's in on this. It could be Hernandez. Hernandez lost some money. Falaba took his money, but Falaba threw Bravo under the bus when Hernandez confronted him about it. So Hernandez might be, he's a suspect. He went after, maybe go after Bravo unintentionally. But, he's on the list. It could also be the Deaners. The Deaners are on record calling Bravo a groomzilla and that Bravo sucks. All right, so they were not happy throughout this entire wedding process. It could also be Tessa Blanchard. Wait, where's the music? Where's the? Oh, I'm seeing reports right now. All right, Tessa Blanchard has an alibi. She's still in Mexico. It's not Tessa Blanchard. Sorry. But it could be Crazy Steve's monkey. All right, this drunken bastard has been running around running roughshod backstage. All right, he's peeing everywhere. He's flinging poop. He's definitely on the list of suspects. It could also be Rikishi.
He did it for The Rock.
He did it for The Rock.
The most notorious accident in wrestling history. He did it for The Rock. He's got to be on this list. The Rock was at Bound for Glory via satellite. There's a connection with The Rock and Bravo. I have no idea, but The Rock's around. Rikishi is a suspect, so you got to put him on the list. And then finally, the thing with these investigation Discovery Channel, the murder mystery, the culprit is usually the bride herself. Normally, these murder mysteries or whatever happens, it's usually over life insurance and to collect some kind of money. But as I mentioned, when Jessica Havoc, when I was processing her, I guess, in my investigation, they just drilled it into the ground this past Tuesday that the Bravo's a virgin. So I don't know if this was some kind of plan for Rosemary as a virgin sacrifice or something. So she is kind of leading the list of suspects on from my end. Any from you two?
So far, I like the monkey.
I'm going to go with CM Punk.
I just got a text from Tyler. Yeah, he agrees. CM Punk. Moving forward. Oh man. So I do believe I did see Tommy Dreamer in some kind of like Sherlock Holmes outfit. So I do believe that Tommy Dreamer is actually conducting this investigation tonight. Going forward, Rhino's going to call a shot. He is going to challenge for the tag team championships once Heath is ready to roll. Triple XL defeated the Rascals after Uranagi with authority from AC, followed by a splash from Larry D. Then backstage, they attacked the Machine Guns, and Alex Shelley, he's injured as well right now from that attack from the North at Bound for Glory. So, Motor City Machine Guns at their hands full. They want their title backs, but they got a lot of Triple X in front of them to get through, I guess, before they get to that. Going into tonight's matches at Impact, we also have, I guess I would say random. This has been a feud building, but there was kind of no build up to this. But I don't think anybody's complained when Chris Bay and Trey Miguel are going to go at it. So, John DeConnie, who do you got in this one?
Give me Trey Miguel. I believe Chris Bay is scheduled to go to Japan sometime soon for a big card. So, give me Trey.
Okay, yeah. Chris Bay was announced that he will be in the Super J Cup, or what we are now rechristening as the Super Bay Cup. I do believe this is stateside, though. I do believe this is just an 8-man tournament stateside. I'm sure Ryan Joy, he's been chiming in with some stuff.
Yeah, Ryan just chimed in. It's stateside.
Yeah, stateside for one night. So, yeah, Bay time. Maybe to build him up for that. I don't know. I'm going to go Chris Bay. Like I said, he liked one of my tweets, so. John Smith, who do you got?
I'll go Chris Bay for no reason at all.
Gotcha. Tasha Hogan. Wow. Kiara Hogan and Tasha Steelz defeated Jordan Grace and Alicia Edwards as they prepare for the Knockouts Tag Team Championship Tournament. They're bringing the belts back. We failed to mention that last week, but I'm excited for that. They have a lot of the women in that division. Everybody's paired up nice and evenly here. So I'm actually enjoying that. They're going to have a tournament that's going to come to a head in January 2021 at Hard to Kill, I believe is the name of the show.
Hard to Kill, January 16th will be the finals.
Yep. And they got Turning Point coming up in 2 weeks. We'll make our picks for Turning Point next week. We'll get some matches tonight to pick on that. But in the meantime, on Locker Room Talk, another riveting episode of Locker Room Talk.
Oh,
Jordan Grace and Tennille Dashwood will be Madison Rain's guests, and of course the Swingman will be there. Unfortunately, nobody went to Rohit Raju's X Division Championship victory celebration. I would have went. That's just me. I would have went. So nobody showed up. So I guess he's just going. Screw it. Is going right back at it this week. We're returning to the Defeat Rohit Challenge. He's putting the X Division well, we don't know if he's putting the X Division. Let's just leave it at that. The Defeat Rohit Challenge, as you can see, he's chasing John Cena right now. He's got 2 open challenge title defenses. He's chasing John Cena with 10. I believe Cody's probably at 1 with the second title reign. And of course, Lana getting put through tables. We'll get to her in a little bit, but she's 7, so she's running up that score as well. So you got another John DeConnie. Who do you think is going to challenge? And will Rohit add another notch on his belt here?
Just because Bay and Trey are already already have a match tonight. Let's say TJP, and Rohit finds some way out of it.
Yeah, he's the one that has been mentioned. I know Willie Mack already challenged. TJP hasn't accepted the challenge yet. Yeah, so it could possibly be him. John Smith, who do you got?
I don't know. Give me Heath. That'd be fun. What?
He can't barely move.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Then give me Rhino. Screw it.
All right, you got the Rhino.
There you go.
Ethan Page just flat out slapped Doc Gallows backstage. So that's one way to have a fight and start a feud. There you go. They've already been feuding for the tag title. Then we got Doc Gallows and Ethan Page going tonight. John Smith.
I'm going with Festus, of course.
Yeah, you got to go Doc Gallows. John DeConnie?
Agreed.
All right, and then what will be the main event? Deonna Purrazzo to Perry. She hired a barrister to take Impact to court over this whole X Division ship. Now, why you would hire somebody that makes coffee at Starbucks to do this, I have absolutely no idea. But she hired one. And nobody loves Impact as much. Nobody loves lawsuits as much as Impact. So Scott D'Amore talked her out of it. They're going to give her a rematch, which will happen tonight. So we got Sue Young, the Undead Bride, our reigning Knockouts champion. She's defending against Deonna Purrazzo. I spy a Jersey girl getting her title back here, boys. John DeConnie.
Geez. I guess that title change was kind of a shift on the fly after Kylie Ray no-showed. So I'm leaning with you to Deonna getting it back.
Like anything? All right, John Smith, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm going with Deonna because I don't think it makes much sense for Susie to have that title with what she's got going on with her storyline. So I think she'll lose it right back, and maybe they'll work that into what's going on with her story.
Right.
More important.
Speaking of Kylie Ray, she's not doing too well right now, mental health wise. So she's taking a break. Apparently, she said she's not a professional wrestler anymore. I think that's to be determined. I think that's jumping the gun right now. But we wish Kylie Ray all the best. As long as she's alive, as long as she's safe, and she's with loved ones, we got your back, Kylie. We hope we see you soon. So, gentlemen, we hope we see you soon as well. Johnny, if you're going to go to the shop, right, make sure you find a shorter line for the...
Hey, and don't forget that Tommy Dreamer slammed Myers onto thumbtacks and candy corn.
Oh, I completely skipped over that match. Oh, yeah, that's right. And Hornswoggle was in a garbage can, and he used tongs on Brian Myers' Jimmy's.
Yep.
It looks like Swoggle's going to be sticking around for a while. If he's running around with Dreamer, that'd be pretty funny. So, give you guys a break. I apologize to Tommy Dreamer for skipping over that. He was on my list. I guess I got too caught up with the drunk monkey as well. Gentlemen, we will see you shortly. Go say hi to your loved ones. We're gonna bring in Gary Mehaffy. I always drew up this graphic. I gotta get this graphic off. There we go. We're gonna bring in Gary. Now, Gary Mehaffy, ladies and gentlemen, Gary, before we even get you started here, where were you on the night after the show of October 27th?
To be fair, you're going to have to speak to my lawyer about that one. I refuse to answer any questions without my lawyer present.
You're going to get a barrister, like Gary. Top of the evening to you, pal. What an NXT UK Championship match! Oh my God.
I know. I mean, if I thought the match a few weeks ago, the tag match was like 8 million stars, this is just kind of infinity. So I just could not say enough. If anybody watching this has not seen it, you need to go watch this and then come back and agree with us because it was just unbelievable.
Yeah. You knew those guys could do it. You just think they would do it. Like I said, it was a takeover quality match. Wow, but way to get things back going with that story. That story, a nice little bowl, just perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it really was. And I remember I was saying to you at the time, we were messaging each other, and I said I couldn't believe that I watched to see what time was left in the show when they started and thought, okay, they're not going to get that long. But when they overran the show by an extra 10, 15 minutes,
Yeah.
to give them the length of time. Like it was over 25-minute match, easily the most brutal match like I've seen in a long time, and the best WWE match by far that there's been this calendar year by a mile.
Yeah, 100%. He said Walter was getting the tag team match, and even in the contract signing, Walter Dragunov's front was red after.
Yeah.
His back was red too. That match, not to mention all the shots to the neck. That was just hard hitting. They went balls out, and kudos to them. And the fun thing was that Gary, like I mentioned in the NXT segment, with Pete Dunne showing up there, my whole thought process completely changed. I'm like, oh my God, Dragunov actually, after Dunne did the sort of after the dust settled, Dragunov has a chance here now.
Yeah, I did the same because when I watched NXT and thought, oh, Pete's appeared, he's back across over in the States, and I had the same thought of going, they're not building necessarily, they may well bring him back for Walter, but I doubt it. And I thought they could switch this belt. This could actually happen here. It really was. It just put the doubt in everybody's mind. It was brilliant.
Yeah. So I guess for everybody watching stateside and for everyone overseas, thank you for watching overseas and staying up late with you. Or if you're watching us on replay, thank you for tuning in. This was the typical definition of British strong style?
Oh no, I mean definitely. I mean now it's more hard hitting than a lot of ones I would have seen, but it really was. I think it has defined what this new wave of NXT UK is going to stand for. Modern, but hard hitting, but reflecting back and calling back to some of the things of the golden years of UK wrestling. So definitely, this is set the standard for what this brand is going to be about.
Yeah, Walter eventually Dragunov ended up getting to sleep after he kicked out of absolutely everything Walter had to throw at him. And like I said, Walter, great strategy by Walter too, working on the neck. I wasn't really putting two to two together. I guess he was doing some videotape. The Torpedo Moscow was all neck. So great strategy by Walter. So
it was super. It was very, very, very clever. Absolutely brilliant.
All right, so I guess here we go. Who's next for Walter now? Who do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I was looking. I see. Obviously, interestingly, now they must have done the investigation, but Joe Coffey's coming back. Obviously, to head up Gallus. So you have Joe coming in, who was being primed to be a big mover. So he may be one. And I noticed, obviously, they did during the show. They ran the vignette for Rampage Brown coming in, who's an ex-Progress world champion and an ex-tag champion of ICW. So they're kind of ones that they could move up. You could see moving up and coming through. And obviously, I don't know what feeds into what's happening next week, but if your close personal friend Noam Dar, if Noam wins, if he comes through and wins this tournament, then by all means you could have the big guy, little guy, and head him towards it as well. So
Walter would just that wouldn't. Wow. All right, so moving forward on the show, the Hunt joined Eddie Dennis. Mm-hmm. We had the Hunt with the heel turn. We kind of couldn't. We kind of couldn't put our finger on why Eddie Dennis was involved, but I guess he was using Pretty Deadly as pawns here. Yeah,
it definitely seems to be. I mean, you and I, when we were talking last week, we said how we thought the Hunt might be behind it, but at the same time, you kind of went, but Eddie Dennis has been linked with Pretty Deadly the whole way along. So it was a good little bit of a swerve that you went. Yeah. You had the storyline, instead of just going straight, there was a good arc to it, and there was a good, and yet it could still end up with Pretty Deadly as well. They may still do stuff with him in and out down the line as well. So it's a good few each side things to have on the go.
Yeah, they didn't seem too bothered by being, I guess, not really swerved directly, but just being just flat out, just like not involved with anything. They kind of just walked away. They went backstage to Sid Scala saying they want a tag team title match. Gallus was right there. And he said, yeah, we're going to be back in full force next week. And then Sam Gradwell, we haven't seen a lot of these guys in a long time, but Sam Gradwell, even less. So they're going to have a 6-man tag team match. Gallus back in full force here.
Yeah. It was interesting when I saw Gradwell coming back. I thought, okay, but when it said it was the 6-man, and as you say, Gallus was back full force, it will be, I reckon that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with within NXT UK.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Gallus on that one. I think that's the point you were getting at as well.
Yeah.
Ava Valkyrie and Danny Luna, another nice women's division match here. It seems like they're spitting them out. They're definitely giving us one a week, which is great. These two didn't disappoint. Valkyrie with the scissor kick for the win.
Yeah, I mean, and you can. I mean, obviously, as I've said before, I'm going to hold my hands up and say I've seen Aoife for the last few years as she's grown up in the ring and developed as a wrestler, and so I've followed her. I've seen her quite closely. I've seen her in lots of matches, and they do seem to be giving her a good push. And the interesting thing is, when you have Kaylee Ray, you still have Piper Niven going, "I'm coming for you." You've got Jenny going, "No, I'm here." You've got Aoife Valkyrie on an unbeaten run, and you kind of go, okay, you've got all these people who can now jump in. So it is really starting to just develop and bubble up really well. But Aoife is super, so they really seem to be getting behind her.
And then her fellow Irishman, Jordan Devlin, the true cruiserweight champion. He had his first in-ring action. He defeated some sort of enhancement talent who was actually really jacked, if I remember correctly. He was
he's an ex-power lifter. Yeah, Levi Murray's an ex-power lifter.
Yeah, exactly. Devlin beat him with the Devlin side, which is a great name for a move, followed by a Texas cloverleaf or four-leaf clover, I guess, whatever you want to call it, depending on what country you're from. And then he went on to challenge any cruiserweight. He's a true champion. Fly overseas, meet me over here. I'll fight you. And I'll beat you.
I mean, I really do think it's almost the unfortunate thing for him. If there was no travel ban, if people could come back and forward, you could see him, and it may well still happen. I mean, they can bring some people in, but you could see him, as you say, just grandstanding, challenging everybody until he works his way back stateside, and maybe we'd have the one-on-one at maybe like a Worlds Collide type event.
Yeah.
Over with NXT, so it would be interesting. It looks it's again another intriguing development. So
yeah, when we first started the show, 26 episodes, the interim cruiserweight championship tournament had just started, and the only thing Tyler and I, Devlin versus Kushida, that's all we were talking about. I mean, we were wrong. Kushida didn't end up winning. Santos Escobar was a swerve. But it was just like, we just want to see Devlin. And, Kushida could still do it. He's on a roll on NXT. If he somehow takes it from Escobar when this is ready. Yeah. I think, I don't think Kushida obviously doesn't have a problem flying, overseas to fight somebody. So,
no,
and then I know we covered it last week, Gareth. The Heritage card, it is going next week. We're gonna have Noam Dar and A Kid. We know where I'm at, Gary. You want to change your pick from last week? I believe you had Noam as well.
No, I'm gonna stick with Noam. I do, and I actually think as this has gone on, Dar has impressed me more and more, and I think this match will be an absolute sleeper. I think people will be pleasantly surprised, or maybe not, at just how great a match it is.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. I got two guys, it's two cruiserweight style wrestlers, and it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be a nice cruiserweight style match. So, Gary, thank you again for joining us. We know it's late by you guys. We appreciate you staying up with us. Thank you as always. Make sure your parents get in touch here. We want to know where you were on October 27th.
No, as I say, you'll need to talk to my lawyer first. So I'm saying nothing.
Gary, thank you very much, pal. Let me get the.
See you later, man. See you next week.
So now we're going to bring on Ryan Joy here. We're going to switch the nameplate as well. There you go, a little quick on the trigger there. We get the. We're going to switch it up a little bit here, Ryan. What do we got there? Ryan got his sticker today. There you go. Ryan went out. He got his sticker celebrating Val Venus on Erection Day.
That's right.
There you go.
The competition is very stiff in that race.
Hey!
You're welcome.
Ryan, we're gonna switch things up a little bit real quick. We're gonna start with Ring of Honor this time because we had the championship finals last week. Let us know what we think. I'll put up the graphic right now. We have a new champion, and it is
Jonathan Gresham, my pick. Right
there, it is. You got one. Points for Ryan.
Jeez, man, too bad points weren't on the line. I think a lot of people. Honestly, I picked him, but he was definitely the odds-on favorite from the very beginning. It was a good finish to the tournament. It was a great tournament. He won with a submission, but they told a good story as Tracy got Gresham to use all of his rope breaks, which is how Tracy won the last match. He he got a guy stuck in the ropes, and the ref couldn't break it. So that's how he won the match leading into this. So now Gresham runs out of rope breaks. But Gresham locked in a submission, and Tracy Owens had to tap.
Well, where do they go from here with this title, Rye?
So they haven't actually advertised anything for any upcoming ROH TV episodes. I did listen to an interview with Joe Koff, who's the COO, and he said expect more of the same from ROH TV. So EC3 had his debut match on the same show. He teamed with the Briscoes in a losing effort against Shane Taylor Promotions. So literally doors kind of wide open. We don't have anything advertised. I guess we'll have to wait to this weekend and see what
you got EC3 there. You got his feud going. And then, like I said, who was
Vincent and Matt
Taven. There you go. Matt Taven's back.
Yep.
He's got a feud with Virgil, Vincent, whatever you want to call him, going.
That's right. So logic would dictate that they're heading that way. I wouldn't think that they would have that match without advertising it, though. So I think this weekend we'll probably have a show that sets up the next few weeks. Yeah.
We're looking forward to that. So we're going to switch to New Japan now. Ryan, we got a big weekend ahead of you. Saturday, I believe it's Saturday, I guess morning our time, right?
Yeah, Saturday morning. Daylight savings didn't do us any favors whatsoever because now everything starts an hour earlier. So I think this show starts at 4. Double check before you miss the first hour, but it's an early show. Quick recap from last week, though. We had 2 tag title matches that happened on Sunday and Monday. Both tag champions retained, so no major update there. And then we have this weekend. We have the 6-match show, all singles matches, pretty much all title matches. One of them's not, but you got the graphics to run through?
I'm ready to run through it here. We're going to start with Toru Yano. We got the KOPW champion.
Yep, and as people may remember from the original tournament that we had for KOPW, these are all going to be weird stipulation matches, not something New Japan does, so it's kind of like a specialty time where they're going to do, weird stip matches. So this particular match is going to be no turnbuckle pads. So, if you ever watch Yano match, he usually takes them off anyway. So
yeah, I know. I was saying, you hit the nail on the head. Like he's just falling right. Like this is in his wheelhouse, right?
Yeah. So half his shtick is gone for this. So, but he got in the ring after one of Saber's matches yesterday, and he said, "Zach, you're really making me mad. Every time I pull these turnbuckle pads off, you put them back on." So that kind of led to the no turnbuckle pad match.
Yeah, I'm going to keep. Sorry, what was that? I cut you off.
I like Yano in this role. I think he's my pick.
I was saying, this is right in his wheelhouse. There's no reason to bet against Toru Yano. He's got the hot streak going right now.
Right.
We discussed this match last week, the Never Openweight Championship. We didn't think we'd have enough time to get to this week. We're going to be okay. So I'm still going to go with Suzuki. That's a bad man, Ryan. I keep saying that, not betting against him. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm picking Suzuki. And if Suzuki doesn't retain, I will have his haircut next week.
Well, then you got Kazuchika Okada going special singles match. Here you go. There's a one non-title match on the card. Who is that mystery man?
This is the Great O-Khan, who is teaming with Will Ospreay now. So when Will Ospreay turned on Okada during the block finals, Great O-Khan came out and assisted him. So they have this new faction called the Empire. And so I'm picking Okada in this. I think we need to see a good match out of O-Khan, but Okada rarely loses.
No, it's once in a blue moon. I don't think the moon's going to be blue on tomorrow.
And I think ultimately we're setting a course for Okada Ospreay, right? That's where we're ultimately going. So probably Wrestle Kingdom. So this is just kind of like chapter 1.
Okay. And then we talked about this match as well, the right for the challenge for the United States Championship. That title is currently being held by Jon Moxley, the Becky 2 belt of the United States. like I said, this you got Kenta here. This has never been done before, right? They've never lost the briefcase.
Yeah, and in the history of these briefcases in New Japan, they've never been lost. So, I picked Kenta here. IWGP rules dictate that Jon Moxley has to defend that title this month, otherwise he's stripped of it. Now, nobody's talking about that, so we have this pandemic and everything. So who knows what the story is going to be there, if they're going to do anything or act. But we'll see. I'm picking Kenta in this match.
Yeah, I'm going to go with it as well. And then we got the another right to challenge here. This was the winner of the G1 Climax, Kota Ibushi. He's got to put it on the line against. He said it's usually the guys that beat him during the tournament. So he's got Jay White.
Yeah, I'm picking Ibushi for the same reason I just said for Kenta. I think it'll be a good match. Jay White wrestles a very specific style, so we'll probably see him duck out of the ring in the beginning of the match, and Ibushi will chase him. He'll get caught. And ultimately, he'll do a Kanagoya in the match.
All right, and then what will be the main event? The Becky Two Belts of New Japan, the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Champion Tatsuya Naito of the LIJ. He's going to be going against Evil from the Bullet Club. We're going right back to this again. What's the series score right now with these two? They've been going at it a lot.
It's 1-1.
More than that. Okay.
Well, it may be, but in terms of title matches, it's 1-1. There may have been some other cup matches or G1. I guess they met in the G1, but in
they met in the G1. They had they passed the belts back and forth.
Yeah. In the title matches, it's a pretty simple story, right? Naito had it, Evil won it, Naito got it back. Now Naito's defending it. So I guess in that way, Evil's probably up too, because I think he won in the G1. But I think Naito retains here. I think they're going to keep the belt on Naito heading into their big WrestleMania show, which is Wrestle Kingdom, January 4th and 5th.
Yeah, that Wrestle Kingdom, for those that you don't know, that is New Japan's version of Bound for Glory. So,
they used to only be January 4th, but my birthday is January 5th, so they've added the second night. I'm pretty sure
it seems like going forward is going to be too big for just one night.
Yep.
And then Ryan, last week we kind of scoffed at it a little bit. Thunder Rosa losing the NWA Women's Championship.
I didn't see it coming. I mean, I really didn't. Based on like contract status and things like that, I just I never really saw it coming. So it was a really nice surprise. Thunder Rosa always talks very, very well about Serena Deeb and how she traveled hours and hours to watch Serena Deeb perform live and stuff like that. So it was kind of a nice story around the match. They wrestled a technical match, very similar to Dynamite. And then, but in the end of this one, Serena Deeb came away with the championship. Then she defended it the next night on Dynamite.
Yeah, so, we will get in. We can get into that once we start making our picks and we go over AEW. But yeah, that was wild. And like I said at the beginning of the show, here comes Uncle Dave. Well, here we go. Now she's going to WWE. Yeah, okay, Dave.
Well, Thunder Rosa, she in Uncle Dave's defense, she did tweet out a picture that said like, "Where do I go next?" And she had AEW, WWE, NWA on her thigh there. But.
No, that's not Uncle Dave's. No, that's not Uncle Dave's defense, because Uncle Dave's supposed to know this stuff. He's a professional gossip columnist. He's supposed to know this.
So, and just another note on the show that she lost the belt on was Primetime Live, and they are running tonight, and they have Eric Rowan, Davey Boy Smith Jr., Leo Rush, and Mike Bennett will all be on that show tonight. So, just a. Sure.
Yeah, I didn't know that Eric Rowan's real last name was Redbeard. That's pretty crazy.
That's right. Yes. Redbeard.
All right, so we're going to kick you off for all of 2 seconds. We're going to keep you on the rest of the way to go through WWE. I was going to make sure the boxes are correct here. So we're going to boom. 1, 2, and 3. Gentlemen, welcome back. We hope you had some quality time with your loved ones. You got some groceries. There we go. Correct. Okay, so we're going to jump right into Monday Night Raw and what happened with last night. Ryan, we're going to stick with you. We really don't get to talk a lot of WWE with you, unfortunately. Today we're going to let you, spread your wings and fly. Randy Orton came out with a promo, and he's welcoming the target that's on his back. As you know, Randy's still pissed that Randy Orton committed arson and then took the title from him at WrestleMania about 3 years ago. Miz has the Money in the Bank contract, and then Drew McIntyre just lost the belt now, so he's got 3 guys gunning for him.
I think it's 3 and counting. I mean, we had a nice little backstage segment with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Randy Orton has to deal with Roman Reigns pretty soon. So Randy Orton really is a wanted man in WWE. So, he won the night. Ultimately, Drew McIntyre had a great little match with Miz and Morrison. He came out on top. But Randy Orton stood tall at the end, hitting with an RKO. Then my DVR went out, but I understand the Fiend's entrance music came on.
Yeah, the laughing came out at the end. But yeah, the RKO was in retaliation to a Claymore that Drew hit Randy when Randy was distracted by that same laugh. That same laugh that kicked off the show. So, John DeConnie, as our Raw Survivor Series team specialist, you're kind of hitting the nail right on the head here. We're going to go with the women first, though, before we get to the men. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, they defended the WWE Tag Team Championships, the Women's Tag Team Championships, against Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. Lana tried to interfere, tried to help out on behalf of Mandy, and Dana couldn't get it done. Shayna got the Karabuta clutch on Dana Brooke to end that match. Nia wasn't too happy about it backstage, so she wanted to end Lana's career. God knows she could, but she really wanted to. And she's been trying the past 7 weeks.
Big old 69.
Big old 69.
Yeah, you think Nia would have been okay with the fact that technically it was Lana's distraction that allowed Shayna to lock in the Karafuda clutch, but she said by the end of the night, if you don't, leave the team on your own, I'm going to end your career. So they had themselves a little match later in the evening where Nia beat Lana unmercifully and refused to pin her a couple of times. Then eventually did and started to walk up the ramp with Shayna. Decided that wasn't quite enough, so the streak continues. 7 weeks strong of Lana being put through the announce table.
She's tucking the neck every time. I've been watching that. She is trying to do her best not to.
Tip of the captain to old 69er.
Yeah, the big old 69. Braun Strowman, he wanted on Team Raw in the worst way, John DeConnie. You had him on your team. He came out with AJ Styles, Keith Lee, and Sheamus that were already in the ring. He didn't have a qualifying match. Nobody wanted to face Braun in a qualifying match, so Styles figured to have some friendly team competition, saying if you can beat Keith Lee and Sheamus, then you're in.
Yeah, probably not the smartest decision by Captain AJ, but the 3 big men had themselves a do-si-do, and in the end, with a power slam, Braun did take the victory. So he is on Team Raw, the 4th member. And then afterwards, AJ tried to get them all to shake hands. Sheamus and Braun even, I believe, embraced. And then everyone kicked each other in the face and threw each other all around the ring. So Team Raw a little bit in shambles, and it's not even finished yet. So.
Yep, they still need one more person. And Sheamus tried to recruit that 5th person, as Ryan just mentioned. Sheamus had a weird-looking conversation with Drew McIntyre back. And the only reason why I'm saying it was weird, because he got the superest of all super baby faces and a complete D-hole in Sheamus. And they're like, hey, buddy, how's everything going? Oh, you go to the pub and grab some ales? Whatever, there's, the UK people and Gary talk about. But they were all buddy, and that's the 5th member to your team from your prediction. You're 3 for 4 right now with Riddle, who's supposed to be the Sheamus instead of Riddle, or Riddle instead of Sheamus. But you had the McIntyre-Orton loser as the 5th member of your team, which right now is Drew McIntyre. But McIntyre said no.
I got real excited during the during the triple threat match, I got real excited that maybe Sheamus would, come up with a little bit of an injury and need to be replaced. It didn't come to fruition, but
Yeah.
So this is going to be the Hurt Business segment of the show. John Smith, this is in your wheelhouse. First, Bobby Lashley, who has MVP's United States Championship. He defeated the 24/7 champion R-Truth with the Hurt Lock, then beat up Drew Gulak, who was trying to get the 24/7 title, then threw Gulak on top. So a little fun from Lashley.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun couple minutes there. And then the Hurt Business comes out a little later to cut a promo. Lashley and MVP are in suits, but the other two are in their gear, so you know that something's about to happen. And then, they cut a nice promo. Bobby Lashley still needs to, stay as far away from that microphone as possible because the gimmick's working enough for him. He doesn't need to be talking. But, the New Day comes out. They cut a nice little promo making fun of Cedric just for, being there. And then, they end up in a match together. Hurt Business comes out on top. Thank you very much. I guess hopefully this will set up for them taking the titles from the New Day eventually, and then they can be a stable of gold. That'll be nice.
Yeah, and now, like I said, I'm going to say now's more important than ever to have WWE Gold. We'll show you the graphic in a minute, but to have the gold, that books you a slot on the overall Raw team, not the Survivor Series team, the Elimination team, but the overall Raw team. We'll get into the champions matches when we get to SmackDown next. But yeah, they have it. They beat the champs. They got a shot coming. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks. Vince Russo is back writing for WWE as there was a guitar on a pole match.
First thought.
I haven't seen anything on a pole. John DeConnie, I knew I was going to get you on that one. But when was the last time anything was on a pole here? I don't remember.
Not even a guess.
Yeah. But it was actually kind of awkward because the way Tom Phillips explained that all you do is grab the guitar and use it on your opponent and you win. So Jeff Hardy grabs the guitar, uses it on his opponent. I'm waiting for the bell. I'm like, what's going on right now? Then he rolls over, recovers in 1, 2, 3. I'm like, what the hell? I don't know. The whole thing just struck me silly, but whatever. And the guitar didn't break, which that had to have hurt. So Jeff Hardy got the win over Elias. Swear Jar was being passed around quite readily in the Firefly Funhouse. We will not repeat what they were saying here on the Essential Wrestling Podcast. And then Ricochet defeated Tucker in quite quick fashion. And then they both got jumped by Retribution. So, I don't know. Does Tucker have his last name back? I saw the word Knight was on his pants. So I don't know. Does Tucker get his last name back now that Matt Riddle lost his first name?
He probably just has that name.
Maybe.
He'll be Knight.
Now Knight. Knight versus
Shining
Riddle.
armor, damn it! You're looking Knight in shining armor. So so that was it for Raw. We're gonna switch gears to the
Wait.
There's more?
I mean, yeah, Angel Garza gave me a rose during the show.
That's right. Yeah, Angel Garza.
I thought
Ariel.
Okay, go on.
Thank you. There we go. We're gonna hit the SmackDown button right there. John DeConnie. The beginning of the show. So it's been It was 7 or 6 days, however many days since Hell in a Cell. Jay's had some time to think about it. Show starts. I hate you. Jay hates him. Doesn't want to follow. 2 hours later, he falls in line. So Jay Uso's on board.
Yeah. Apparently, yeah. Roman and Heyman opened the show, coming to the ring. Jay was already in there. Jay came up with every excuse he could think of. It was a snake move. I hate you. You've been doing this since we were kids. And Roman just left him with, by the end of the show, fall in line or else. So we fast forward to the main event. Jay Uso fighting Daniel Bryan for a spot on the SmackDown men's team. And it was, of course, good match back and forth. Two top quality athletes there. D-Bry had Jay in the corner. He was doing his corner-to-corner drop kicks to the face. After the first one, Jay cut him off with a super kick on the second one. They gave him another super kick while he was still kneeling. Nailed the Uso splash for the victory. So he's going to the Survivor Series team. Jey Uso does. And Roman made his way to ringside during the match and kind of came in and, gave a look of approval. And then kind of looked over at D-Bry, looked back at Jey. Jey decided, I'm in. Let me get the quote right. I'm with you. You the head of the table. And then he went about beating the hell out of Daniel Bryan for a little extra emphasis.
Yeah, I believe the quote that I think Jay was like, I love you, and Roman's like, show him how much you love me. But that was pretty tough. So with that, Jey Uso, I was kind of shocked about that. I saw that match, I'm like, okay, Daniel Bryan's on the Survivor, and that makes complete sense. Daniel Bryan is whatever. Jey Uso got the win, John Smith, and he joins Kevin Owens, who defeated Dolph Ziggler with a stunner. They both qualified for Team SmackDown. So here are, as promised from before, here are the teams as of right now for the men's side. How's this looking to you, John?
It's really hard to figure out who the heck they're going to put on this team. I'm thinking maybe the other Uso will be on the team. Is he still injured though?
He looked like he was limping at Hell in the Cell, so I don't exactly know how far along he is with his injury.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'd like to see Aleister Black there, but then him and Kevin Owens on the same team, and Kevin Owens is kind of looking for something fresh. So, yeah, this one's a tough one to call, but I like seeing Jey Uso on there because I think he's really stepped up his game. And Kevin Owens, I mean, you can't say enough good things about him. And then he said that after his match, you like that or whatever. You see we'll just wait till Survivor Series. He just said something like that. And, he's always got something big in his back pocket, I think. So Kevin Owens might end up doing something at Survivor Series that we're not ready for. You'll never see it.
I was the one that made the SmackDown teams after the draft a couple weeks back. I had Seth Rollins, I know, as my captain. I had Rey Mysterio on that team as well. I did not have Jey. I don't remember what I had for the other ones. Aleister Black, possibly. And then he got on the women. They only had the one qualifying match. A lot of smack talking backstage, and it ended up being Bianca Belair winning a triple threat match. She defeated Natalya and Billie Kay. So Billie Kay getting some screen time on SmackDown as a solo act. Right now it's a 5-on-1. Bianca's going to get some help eventually. So, John Smith, what do you think? You got the big old 69 team and Team Belair.
Yes. I mean, there's like no women on their roster, though. So Natalya is going to end up having to be on this team anyway, I think, eventually. And, it's a tough one also. I think they really backed themselves into a corner the way they move these rosters around, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I kind of made it to the point when I was, like I said, the reason why I wanted to put the visual graphics after the draft is Fox completely forgot about it. They got Bayley, they got Sasha, they got Bianca Belair, and then they just forgot about it. They just completely. Now, is the Carmella, I'm thinking she's going to get one spot. Carmella's going to be back next week. I don't know if she's going to be in ring. It just says here, why is Carmella untouchable? I'm assuming Corey Graves has something to say about that. But she's back. I'm sure she'll be on the team. I had the Riot Squad on the team as well. So, it could be worse for them, I guess. And then obviously, the loser of the Sasha Banks Bayley match might be on that team as well. We'll discuss that at the end of this segment. But Brian, the unfortunate fact of the matter is, we kind of keep you off the Raw and SmackDown, so we want to hear your fresh perspective on the Mysterio as the world turns with the Mysterios, and we got the kiss I've been waiting for. I believe the internet broke for about 10 minutes with all the hoopla and the uproar of Aaliyah Mysterio laying a big one on Murph. She loves him.
I'm glad you tossed this to me because for matters of the heart. I just talked about Angel Garza on the last show, so matters of the heart, it's important that you consult with me, I guess. It all could have been avoided if Ray and Dominic just accepted Murphy's apology. We probably wouldn't even things wouldn't have escalated, at least not in public to this moment. But fortunately for all the all the romance, people that tune into SmackDown for romance. It did happen. We got Aaliyah and Murphy together, or what appears to be together, or what's starting to be a relationship. Something's happening there.
No,
I'm gonna go ahead and answer your question. That's the Survivor Series team: Ray, Dominic, and Murphy. Done.
I don't think there's dude. He snuck in the DM. I'm okay with Ray and Dom not shaking Murphy's hand at this moment. Like, dude.
I'm just saying. I think that's the rest of your team. That's Ray, Dominic, and Murphy are the rest of that Survivor Series team.
Well, no, Seth's got to be on there. It'd be interesting. So as we're turning with that, I was waiting for the internet to break when they were gonna kiss, and it did. People can't tell fact from fiction. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The Street Profits, they defeated Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura with a powerplex. Shout out to Power and Glory. Win by the Street Profits. They really should keep that as their finishing move. If they're going to do Montez Ford with a splash, that's fine. But if you just couple that with a suplex from Hercules or Angelo Doccules, whatever you want to call it, it looked good. It looked absolutely perfect, and they got to showcase Montez Ford. So keep doing the powerplex. I like it.
FTR's been doing it too, so it's kind of like.
Oh yeah, but they send the Young Bucks a direct message with that move. Corey Graves had a sit down with Lars Sullivan. Oh, Lars, speaking of people who here's okay. Let's just sidetrack the bullying story for a second. Like, so you're taking away Matt Riddle's first name. How is he not just called Lars? Like I'm waiting for Sullivan to get taken away from him, and like name change in WWE. Oh, here it is. Oh, they're taking away Matt from Riddle. What the hell's going on?
I'm pretty sure Lars Sullivan's going to be the Freak before long.
Yeah, let's say he's going to be the Freak, and he takes offense to that. The Corey Graves sugarcoated it that he does freakish stuff. So that gave Corey Graves 5 more minutes of his life. But Sullivan, he was bullied as a kid, and he was being called the Freak, and now he wants hell on earth, and especially in WWE. So that's his story. He's sticking to it, and he's going forward. Don't be surprised if Lars Sullivan's not on that Survivor Series team as well. Him and Strowman, going head to head. That's a double count out if I've ever seen one in a Survivor Series match. So that's that. And then we're gonna go to the main event. Right now, here what they are. Oh, that's the wrong one. The champions versus champions matches. Here's where they are right now. We got Orton and Roman Reigns, which I hope they stay with. Bobby Lashley and Sami Zayn. That possibly could stick. I can't see either of them drop. The New Day. They're going to have a tough task getting past the Hurt Business. The Street Profits seem pretty secure after that win with against Cesaro and Nakamura. But Sasha Banks has got to put her belt on the line now. So in the promo, Bayley, took the shot. She's like, we all know that Sasha Banks is great at winning titles, but we all know she can't keep them. So Bayley's, she wants her belt back. She wants to, crush the spirit of Sasha Banks while she does it to keep the whole no title defense thing in place. Plus, she threw Survivor Series out that as well, that Sasha can't beat Asuka. So, Ryan Joy, and here's the specific reason why I wanted you in this match. You just did your Body Slam Brigade article on this feud. So, here's the next chapter in that story as well as yours.
And when you go back and you look through match after match after match, Sasha takes the early part, but then Bayley really, Sasha took like the really early stages of the feud, but then basically Takeover Brooklyn happened, and Bayley has. I look back at the thing. I think Bayley won the 2016 Charlotte and Sasha feud because Bayley ended up with a title after all of that. So, the Hell in a Cell match I thought was incredible as far as. Matching that feud is going to be. I have a hard time thinking they're going to top that on SmackDown, but I don't think Sasha Banks is leaving with the belt. She doesn't have a good history.
All right, so he's going with history. All right, John DeConnie, who do you got in this?
Obviously I know the history. We all know the history. I think this is going to go a long way to telling us whether or not Sasha is fully back in the good graces after her little fit after losing the tag titles. I think she's going to retain, and I think if she does, I think that might even be a spoiler for her exercising her demons and beating Asuka at Survivor Series as well. I'm going to go with her retaining.
Yeah, as I said, Asuka's owned both these two in singles matches. As far as I can remember, Ryan, I think Sasha took the belt from the one time, but it was a cheap thing, but she got it back anyway. And both these two, you can throw Survivor Series out the window. It's not like you can be like, okay, well, it makes sense for so and so to have the belt because they haven't faced Asuka. It'd be a new, fresh match. Both these, they've been fighting all summer long. So
yeah, and
really
Bayley beat Asuka at SummerSlam. Asuka beat Sasha at SummerSlam. So in any case, it's a return match from SummerSlam.
Yeah, exactly. So John Smith, with all that said, who you got in this Bleach show?
I think it makes most sense for Bayley to win this because you got heel versus heel on the title match and the secondary title matches. So then, what are you gonna have another heel on heel for the this? That's a cream dream for me, but I don't think that's the kind of card they want to put together. So all that, and plus Sasha never getting it done, retaining her title. I think they're still going to go with what we originally thought was Sasha winning the belt at WrestleMania with a Royal Rumble victory, and this is like a speed bump in the road where she thought she had done it, and now it's not to be.
Yeah, my heart's with Sasha Banks. I want her to get over this monkey, not Crazy Steve's monkey, but just get that monkey off her back. I guess that's the phrase, right? So you have. Yeah, but we can circle right back. That's a great point. And where my head's at with Survivor Series is that, Sasha loses this, she can just easily captain Team Raw. It could be her, Bianca Belair with the Riot Squad and Carmella. Then you have a pretty solid squad. And if she wins that, then you win the Rumble. Then you have some super momentum going to Bayley. So yeah, I'll go with Bayley. But this is this complete toss up. I couldn't tell you. It's gonna be a fun match. So usually in cases like this, it's going to end in a no contest. We'll be talking about it again next week. So here we go. We have a big pay-per-view for All Elite Wrestling coming this Saturday night. It is called Full Gear. Before we get to Full Gear, though, we do have a couple things to go over for tomorrow night's Dynamite. Specifically, Miro and Kip Sabian, they jumped the best friends backstage over this whole video game incident and has sent Miro into a complete tirade. So we got Miro and Trent going at it one-on-one. This will be Miro's AEW singles match debut. John DeConnie, who do you got?
For that exact reason, I'm going to go with Miro.
I like that thought process too. John Smith, you're nodding your head?
Yeah, samesies.
No. Ryan Joy.
I mean, the only singles match that Miro's had all year is a loss to Bobby Lashley on Raw. So, I mean, Rusev is going to win.
All right, and then we had the last Wednesday, Sean Spears defeated VSK with the CF4. Tried, remembering that. I had to write that one down. Scorpio Sky attacked Sean Spears post-match dressed as a bull. And then, of course, there you go. Don't mess with the bull because you're going to get the horns. So they're going to go back at it. They got a nice feud. I guess this has been going steaming up on Dark. It's going to take a head on Dynamite. Ryan Joy, you want to fill us in a little dark backstory with these two?
Yeah, I mean, the big story is that Scorpio Sky has come to some people's aid when Sean Spears is about to hit them with the loaded glove, the loaded black glove. So, Spears says that Sky has stolen moments from him. So that's what it is. Spears wants to get his moment back. Sean Spears, really, really good record, 15-2. Most people have never seen the matches, though, because they're all on YouTube. But I got to pick Sky on this, I think.
And it's not that people don't watch YouTube. People watch YouTube all the time.
I don't think people watch the 2.5 hour AEW Dark. They watch our show on Tuesday.
Impact owns the night, Ryan. Impact is this whole Tuesday Night War thing you're stirring up on social media is just not working.
We own the night.
We own the matinee. How about that? John DeConnie, who do you got in this one?
I'm gonna go with Spears. I'll have him, perhaps getting a shot in with the loaded glove to continue this feud along. I suppose, at least as far as on the Dynamite show.
Yeah, I feel like they're wasting Tully Blanchard with him if they don't start getting him to win some serious matches here. John Smith?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Spears also.
All right, Ryan, did you end up making your pick on this?
Yeah, I said Karl.
All righty. And then also, here's a face we have not seen in a very long time. Pac is breaking his silence. I don't know if that means he is back overseas. I don't know if that means this is going to be via television. If he's going to have a match. I have absolutely no idea. But they're advertising Pac for the first time since the pandemic hit. He's been stuck overseas, along with the Singh brothers in Canada and Tessa Blanchard in Mexico. So he's been battling with all that stuff as well. So good to have him back. So now we go to Saturday night. We have Full Gear, gentlemen. So here are our standings, our overall standings in our pool on ProWrestlingPick'em.com. There have been 23 shows counted. This one will be the 24th. My lead has just been dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. John DeConnie will eventually catch me. John Smith with another solid Halloween Havoc. Ryan Joy, who chimed in a little bit late, still enough to pass Tyler. Hopefully we will be seeing Tyler soon. Unfortunately, the AEW scores are a little bit skewed. There have been 5 shows counted. Everybody kind of jumped on the AEW bandwagon with the pools and picks and stuff a little bit late. So this is kind of why I have the overall lead, because AEW has just been short with everybody else. But 23-10, I'll take that record. So everybody else is doing pretty solid as well, Ryan. And here are the point scoring system. Is standard scoring for Full Gear. It's going to be 5 points for the AEW Championship match, 3 points for all other titles, 1 point for the non-title matches. And if you go Henning, you get the 5-point bonus plus a Henning meter that we haven't seen in a while because nobody has been going perfect, unfortunately, recently. We're going to start things off slow here, boys. We're going to stretch out a little bit. We're going to pick the buy-in match. This will not count towards the pool, but we got Orange Cassidy, who pretty much was a co-main event of the last pay-per-view, already dropped down to the buy-in after 2 failed TNT title matches. He will be going against Resident Dark Order upstart and Firecracker, John Silver. Ryan Joy, as our AEW senior correspondent. I know you will be in attendance tomorrow night. I know you will be in attendance for Full Gear. Start us off, stretch us out. Here we go. Who do we got in the buy-in?
This is a battle of colors. You've got orange, you've got silver.
There you go.
Let's just get Dustin Rhodes in there, and we have the full match set. I got Orange Cassidy in this one.
I can't imagine not being Orange and Cassidy, but I really hope John Silver gets a strong performance here. John Smith?
Yeah, I could see Silver winning it like with deceitful means from the Dark Order, but either way, I think, Orange Cassidy has some sort of role on the pay-per-view otherwise, and I think he's going to do something big. I don't know what, though.
Yeah, that's a pretty far steep from co-main eventing with Chris Jericho to a buy-in with John Silver. John DeConnie?
Give me Cassidy on this one.
Okay. So the last week's semifinals, hell of a match. Kenny Omega defeated Penta El Zero Miedo. Speaking of name changes, he got the full Miedo back on the M at the end. And then Hangman Page, I believe he won with the it took 2 buckshot lariats to take out Wardlow. Did you know that? Okay, so during Kenny Omega's, before we get to pick the match here, Ryan Joy, is there a website we don't know about? It says WrestleJoy.com described Kenny Omega as a genius.
I don't know. Only go to minutesofalltime.com, please.
Yeah, not WrestleJoy. That's not you?
That's not me.
All right. You can go to ProWrestlingPick'em.com too.
Right. Different purposes.
Okay, that's why we're close friends, right? That's why we can work together.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we are speaking of Kenny Omega being a genius. All four of us are geniuses. We correctly predicted a Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page final in this AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament. So now here's the last and final step here. John DeConnie, we'll start with you. Who do you got in this one?
I guess I wouldn't be surprised either way, but I think it's almost a wasted opportunity if they don't get Omega into the world title picture. So I'm going to go with Kenny.
All right, John Smith.
Yeah, Omega holding that title is 2 years in the making at this point, so we got to get that on him soon enough so we can get past that and have all the many star matches while he holds the title.
All righty. He does have the record for most Dave Meltzer 5-star matches, apparently. Ryan Joy, so we're in a similar situation here at Survivor Series with Asuka. Asuka's faced both Sasha and Bayley at some point. It was similar because Moxley has already faced, they've already had a feud with Kenny Omega. That's who Mox came in against. But then Hangman Page has already had a championship match here. So something's getting repeated here.
Yeah, I think it's Omega. I could go either way, but I think it's Omega for the reasons that these guys have just said.
All right, I'm going to go Kenny Omega as well for the sole reason that, Hangman Page has been wanting – he doesn't want to be a singles wrestler. He wants to be a tag team. I want to be a tag team. Me and Kenny will get back to – Kenny's eyes have been on this prize this entire time since they lost the tag title. So Kenny's motivated. He's got his cleaner girls. Can't wait to hear what the intro is on Saturday. Give me a lot of fun. Give me 28.5 stars out of Kenny Omega in the victory. As we mentioned in the NWA segment, we have a new NWA Women's Champion. It was Serena Deeb. She defeated Layla Hirsch to retain the title on Dynamite last week. Post-match, they went to the AEW World Women's Champion, Hikaru Shida, and she called out Nyla Rose. So here we go again. Here's another feud, another rematch here. Shida took the championship from Nyla Rose a few months back. Some solid records out of both those two, 19-1, 11-2, both of them having great 2020s. Ryan Joy, who do you got?
I'm picking Shida. After we did all-out predictions, I did my Wild A predictions, and I have tanked in the rankings here. So I am picking Shida, 19-1. The only loss was a long, long time ago. I feel good about Shida retaining.
All right, John Smith.
Yeah, definitely going with Shida. I don't see any reason to put that title back on Nyla.
John DeConnie?
I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to go with Nyla. I just feel like it's time for a switch of that title to make it a little more interesting again because Cheetah's just been so fantastic against everyone. So I guess maybe a little bump in the road here for her.
Yeah, I'm going Nyla as well. I'm going to go with you on this one. Shida won the title. It was a no disqualification match. She could have used the kendo sticks to her advantage. She doesn't get that option now. She's got to try to out-wrestle and out-fight Nyla Rose, and I don't think that's something that she can do. Not a fresh face with a title, but I know Nyla's a former champion, but Sheeta's been doing – I had who's the last fight? Somebody beating her. Sheeta. So I feel like this is done. It was fun. It's great. She's a great champion. She's probably going to get it again, but I feel it's done now. And then most importantly, the main reason – excuse me! That woman's going to be at ringside. So a lot more things working in Nyla Rose's favor right now than it was the last time they wrestled. So I'm going Nyla Rose. The next match, I'm praying to God that this is a cinematic match. Elite Deletion for Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara. Was just hopefully that Matt makes out of this alive. So John Smith, we haven't been going with you first here. Who do you got on this one?
I'll go with Matt Hardy on this one. You know, if it is a cinematic match, when does he ever come out? You know, of those not strong. So you got to go with him, especially because it's his type of match.
All right, John Connie.
I'm gonna go with Sammy Guevara here. After the disaster of a match at the last pay-per-view where Sammy had to take the big bump at the end. Give the guy a win on a big show.
All right, Ryan Joy.
I'm with John Smith on this. I think Matt Hardy's match, is designed for him to win.
All right, I think this is turning into a tag team match here between Ryan and John Smith versus me and John DeConnick. I'm going with Sammy as well. This isn't ending until Sammy's winning. This could have ended when Matt got hurt, and they could have just went on. It would fun. Sammy apparently is supposed to win this feud in some way, shape, and form. So why not? I guess just do it in Matt's own creation. I don't think Sammy's going to keep on coming back to him. So, also real quick, we had a Facebook post here. John Tumenia, I don't know, but he just wanted to shout out to Kyle. You have matured into the role. We are all proud of you. So good job, Kyle. I'm not really sure what he's talking about. Maybe this is the wrong post here, but we'll give a shout out to Kyle as well. Why not? Throw it. Good job, Kyle.
Right?
Yeah, we're proud of him. So, John Smith, please close your ears. We're going to be going. Title match. There's going to be a 6-man tag team match tomorrow night. I can't remember if the Guns have ever been on Dynamite before, but it's going to be Gun Club with Cody going against Colt Cabana Silver and Preston Vance of the Dark Order. And then with that going right into, I guess that's spilling over from the original title match, the second TNT match with Orange Cassidy. And then we got the TNT title match with Darby Allin. Darby's been waiting for his shot for a while now, and here we go. He's been skateboarding with Tony Hawk, most recently doing jackass stunts with Steve-O. John DeConnick, does that translate into a TNT championship?
Incredibly, I think maybe it does, and only because I know Cody's only had the belt back for a little while, but I think if you're looking for something to do, if you don't want to waste the momentum of Orange Cassidy, you've already had him not win against Cody twice. Put the belt on Darby. Darby and Orange can go back and forth and swap the belt back and forth for the next 6 months if they want. So give me Darby Allin, new champ.
Okay. John Smith?
I'm going with Darby also. Fingers crossed.
Ryan Joy?
Yeah, I think it's time for I said this about MJF at the last pay-per-view, but I think it's time for AEW to crown a star of their own. Darby Allin.
Okay, I hope I'm wrong. I just think this is Cody. I don't see.
No.
See, last show it was Jeff Hardy, it was Eddie Edwards, and it was somebody else that found it. I lost all three of them betting against. I guess I'm doing it again. I got Cody retaining. It's not. Now, see, the thing is, he's got Arn Anderson cheating for him now. That was all Arn Anderson with a cheap shot on Orange Cassidy to win that match before the brawl broke out with the Dark Order. So if Arn's going to start cheating and they're going to reform the Horsemen.
By the way, I think Billy Gunn's getting pinned tomorrow.
Oh, fun rumor I saw there. How about this for some crap? We're SpongeBob. This is totally SpongeBob worthy. Apparently, a certain WWE legend, his contract is expiring. Apparently, it's rumored that Sting is going to be managing Darby Allin in the upcoming future now that his Legends contract is over with. I might throw up if that happens.
That's clearly their look they're going for every time they shoot him in the crowd all by himself in a single spotlight.
Interesting.
So, at last week's town hall meeting, MJF, he's checked all the boxes, according to himself. He's this, that, the other. Got the jackets, got him gifts, got the clown for his birthday. He's done everything, except one thing, and that's what Jericho wants, and that's to beat Chris Jericho. So that match is happening at Full Gear. We'll get to that graphic in a second. But right after that whole thing came to play, apparently Ortiz is pissed. So we got Ortiz and Sammy Guevara, who do not want anything to do with MJF. They're going to have a tag team match against Wardlow and MJF tomorrow night. And then that will lead into Full Gear, where if MJF, if he beats Chris Jericho, he's in. So John Smith, we'll let you go first on this one.
I think MJF wins the tag match first tomorrow, and then I'm gonna go with I'll say Jericho on this one. Yeah,
Right.
I don't see MJF actually being a part of the inner circle.
Ryan?
So I stared at this match earlier today, looked, and I couldn't figure out who was going to win, MJF or Jericho. So I went to my data. So as I look back, I'm going back to July. Jericho beats Cassidy. Cassidy beats Jericho. Jericho beats Janela. Cassidy beats Jericho. And then Isaiah Cassidy, Jericho wins. So Jericho's winning every other match, and it's time for him to lose. So I'm picking MJF.
There you go. All right. See, when you see a pattern, there you go. John DeConnie as our resident Chris Jericho advocate.
Yeah, I can't pick against Jericho, so I guess I'm gonna go with him. But I almost think it'll be hilarious, and I can't decide what's better entertainment if MJF wins his way in and then starts butting heads with Jericho, or if Jericho starts hazing him and treating him like a freshman and sending him for coffee. But I'm wiping all that away by saying Jericho wins and they wind up in a feud, not in a clique together.
Yeah, I think the clique's going to end in a feud. I think I got MJF right now because MJF. What was MJF's record? 9-1? Yeah, okay. So his only losses to Moxley. It's the only time he's ever been. Jericho's human in AEW. It's not like you can't pin Chris Jericho. You can't pin MJF right now, unless you're John Moxley. So I think in a one-on-one match, I think this has MJF plus more dancing, more whatever Eddie Kingston hates about the WWE. MJF and Chris Jericho are going to provide for us on AEW. So I'm going to go MJF on that one.
The whole inner circle hates MJF though, so they could be the ones that cause him to lose.
Yeah, Santana, he's on the fence.
Yeah, but Al brought up that MJF's only been pinned once, and Moxley had to use an illegal move to do it.
He had to use the one move that he couldn't use. Yeah, exactly. So it's tough to beat MJF. So that's and then finally, not finally, but we had finally that this match is actually happening. But we are finally getting what could possibly be the matchup between the two best tag teams in professional wrestling today. I know that statement is 100% arguable and debatable, but these are two of them that are in the conversation. How about we leave it at that? And they go at it for the AEW championships. Now, the Young Bucks are going the Cody route, where if they don't win the title, they're never going to challenge for him ever again. So that puts a huge wrinkle on this whole match that I'm sure we all originally thought that FTR, I wouldn't say a layup, but I don't think anyone felt that the Bucks had a chance in this. With the FTR just getting them and doing this, that, and the other thing. But now that you're putting this permanence on it, John DeConnie.
Yeah, how could AEW is the tag team company of all the big boys out there right now. How can you have arguably their biggest tag team draw never go after the title? So and to use that same gimmick twice, where Cody can never go after the world title. Now you're gonna have the Bucks never be able to go after the tag team titles. What are you splitting them up? I guess give me the Bucks. I did not want to make that pick, but yeah, I think it's that's going to happen.
All right, Ryan Joy.
Yeah, Young Bucks because of the stip. If not that stipulation, I'd pick FTR.
Yeah, I guess I don't want to say it was a layup. It's going to be a great match, but I don't think anyone had the Bucks winning until they had the stipulation. John Smith.
Oh man, I'm going to go against the grain and say the Crevival wins it. And then the Bucks can earn their way back into getting themselves a shot somehow, or say they didn't even mean it, or because now they're heels doing it, so they don't have to be honorable. Cody did it as a face. As heels, they could just be like, "Yeah, we didn't mean it,"
Or do they game up with Cody and introduce six-man tag titles?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like they can introduce another title for them to win, which trios. But yeah, John DeConnie hit it right on the head for me. Everything that he said, I completely 100 agree with and was in my head. I'm going with the Bucks for all those reasons. It just does not make sense to do the same gimmick twice, and there's no way that you can have the Young Bucks and that resume that they have and not ever have AEW championship title reigns on it. Like, that's just ridiculous. So tomorrow night, they're going to have a face-to-face with Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. I'm sure they will not be doing a dance number in Le Dinner Debonair and ordering steaks. But then on Saturday, we're getting our second I Quit match in the past, 2 weeks? We're going at it again. Eddie Kingston had a match with Matt Sydal, the Joker. He won with Mox's Bulldog choke, and then he made Sydal say, I quit after the fact. So Eddie Kingston isn't screwing around. Mox 21-0, 23 if you count New Japan, where I guess he's got that title defense coming up as well. But John Smith as our resident Eddie Kingston advocate. What do you got?
I'd love for a scenario to come up where he wins this match. It would be like just even as a transitional champion, man, just to throw us all for a loop. But I just don't see it happening, so I'm going to go with Moxley.
Okay. Ryan Joy?
Up until recently, Drew McIntyre and Jon Moxley were head and head. Both had 23. We're basically both 23-0. Drew dropped that. I think Moxley's hanging on to his record. I think he's going to retain against Kingston, and that's me, going on record saying that he was never eliminated from the Casino Battle Royal. So.
The horse is dead, Ryan. I mean, the horse is dead. Stop kicking it. Oh, my God.
Well, don't tell me. Tell Eddie. Anyway.
Right, who am I missing there? John the Connie?
Yeah, give me Moxley retaining. I don't know how in God's name you're going to get Eddie Kingston to say I quit, but maybe they will, not go with the wrinkle of it has to be said. You could just choke him out, and once he turns blue, instead of steaks being blue, we could have Eddie Kingston's face turning blue, and then we consider that an I quit.
Yeah, they went there. I'm going Moxley as well. I'm not trying to. I don't know exactly what's going to happen now with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. There was a personal issue. That's why Jey had to say it. There's no personal connection. It's not like, unless Renee Young is somehow dragged into this. There is no personal connection that Moxley and Kingston have. I don't think that'll force them to say I quit without a wrestling move.
Yeah.
Kingston's family is right there. His best friend, Pentagon.
Yeah, Pentagon, my best friend. So, unless it's the Rock McFoley thing, that anybody say I quit that they can record, maybe tomorrow night, that's what they'll do. I quit. So that will do it for Full Gear. It is that wonderful time of the episode now where I get to reveal number 21 on my top 30 WrestleMania favorite match countdown. We are 21 weeks away from WrestleMania 37. This match, we brought it up a couple weeks ago, unintentionally. And this match, you look at it, you smile. And the fact that it was for the WWE Championship, and it's just like one of those things like this was the match that does the WWE Championship proud. And that was from WrestleMania 20, where Eddie Guerrero defended against Kurt Angle and at Madison Square Garden. And this whole thing, the storyline's fun. Eddie Guerrero just won the championship. That same night, Kurt Angle won a number one contenders match. They kind of got thrown together. Then Kurt Angle turns heel. He doesn't think the fans deserve a former drug addict as champion. And then he had an absolutely great match. Eddie just tried to keep up with Angle, trying to out-wrestle him on the match. Couldn't do it, whatever. But then the ankle lock at the end with Eddie's boot untied. Eddie slipped through it. And then rolled him up. And then the fun thing is he actually had his feet were able to go around the bottom rope. So he cheated that way, too. The whole thing, Eddie knew going into that he had to cheat to win. He wasn't going to out-wrestle Kurt. And he did it. He outsmarted him, out-cheated him. And like I said, back then, you kind of seemed like Raw had all the names and SmackDown had all the wrestlers, and those were the two best that SmackDown had. And that's including Brock Lesnar at that time, because Brock was a SmackDown athlete. So, of course, Brock, that was his last match for a while.
That's number 20, right?
Yep.
20, yeah.
So that was number 21. So I think the list has been pretty good so far. A couple questionable ones. I know there's a couple more questionable ones coming up. But we're just gonna pay some bills real quick. We'll get the ticker going. How about that? Real quick again, make sure that you pick up the new album, debut album of the Black Cats NYC. It is dropping, I believe is the phrase I have to use. It drops on November 13th. It is called Free Cake. I believe you can get it on iTunes and Apple Music and all the other providers that you can get music from nowadays. So please make sure you get out and get that. They are now the official, I guess, band of the Eastern Observer. So I know the Primetime Rundown uses them. And speaking of the Primetime Rundown, where are they? There they are. The Primetime Rundown, I believe they went back to 6 o'clock on Fridays. Please join Joey Jarzenka, Ian Schreier, and Rob DeLuca. And Tyler actually made an appearance last Friday. He was there. Tyler is alive and well. We are happy to have him back. We were pretty close to having him back tonight. I do not know what video game console he is playing with at the moment. We hope it stays clear of his rectal area and I do not get any more phone calls. For those, again, please make sure you hashtag Tyler's butt is burning. On a more serious note, actually, not with Tyler, we'll get to that in a second. But before it gets announced on social media, we are proud to announce here on the Essential Wrestling Podcast that the Primetime Rundown interview series, which is powered by StreamYard, will be welcoming former New York Islanders goaltender and Chicago Blacks goaltender Jean-Francois Berube. We just call him JF. That's why the name kind of threw me off right there. JF Berube. That will be on Thursday, November 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right here on all the Eastern Observer channels. So JF Berube, former Islander, Joey's going to be sitting down with them and shooting the bleed with them. Should be an absolutely great show. Brian, shoot yourself off, buddy.
Hey, so look at the Body Slam Brigade newsletter from this past week. I dug into my trip to NXT War Games in Chicago last November. Gave you the full rundown there. Even gave you a pizza recommendation while you're in town. So you get it. It's a one-stop shop for everything you need at the Body Slam Brigade newsletter, and it's free. So check it out.
All right, sounds good. And then I should say, more serious note with Tyler. Real quick, Tyler Adele and his sister Ashley, they have made endless efforts during the COVID-19 pandemic to help others in need, which is a great thing. They've made care packages to help the homeless population on Long Island. It includes socks, deodorant, chapstick, rain ponchos, shampoo, snack bars, and plenty more. They need your help, though. It costs $15 to make these bags. So they've actually already raised $425 and counting. So this is a very good cause. Please make sure that you go to the easternobserver.com, or if you actually know Tyler Adele, or if you follow him on Twitter, any of his social media, he will help point you in the right direction to make sure you can help him out and his cause to help the homeless people, specifically during the holiday season and more specifically during the pandemic. Great job, Tyler, for doing that. Plus, like I said, now Tyler's a writer. He's been covering the Islanders postseason. He's been grading their postseason efforts. Called the Isles Hot Seat. It's been really great reads. Join us back here next week, episode 27. Same time, same channel, all Zoom Zingo channel 198, ProWrestlingPick'em.com's Facebook page, MinutesToBellTime.com's Facebook page. And we're also happy to announce that we are coming back, just like we did for SummerSlam. We are having a Saturday Survivor Series weekend special that is November 21st at 3 p.m., where we're going to discuss everything Survivor Series, dig deep into it. I know I got some numbers, Ryan's got some numbers, and hopefully we'll be discussing War Games too. As Ryan just mentioned, he did his Body Slam Brigade experience on it. And hopefully we're going to be talking about the Undisputed Era versus Team McAfee at War Games. So please make sure you set your clocks and set your calendars to make sure you check this out. And we will be done with plenty of time before the NXT kickoff show for TakeOver that night. So that will pretty much do it for today. We did pretty good on time. Thank you again for joining us tonight. This was episode 26. Ryan voted for Val Venus on